the Indiana Fever beat the Dallas Wings 102-83. This was a highly anticipated game because it was going to be the first time that Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers would be going up against one another in the WNBA.
For 5 years, basketball fans have watched one of the game's greatest rivalries, Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers. From high school stars to college standouts, Clark at Iowa, Bueckers at UConn. Clark often had the edge, especially in March. Still, critics like Gino Orima questioned if her success would carry over to the WNBA. Last night, as the Indiana Fever took on the Dallas Wings, these two finally met as pros. What happened wasn't just another game. It was Clark making history, becoming the only player ever to achieve this feat twice. Want to know what records fell? Comment CC Record Breaker. Let's get into it. Two teenage basketball phenoms capturing the nation's attention, bound for a rivalry that would span years. Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers first crossed paths in high school, each a top recruit, but with contrasting styles and personalities. Clark dazzled with her explosive scoring, pinpoint passing, and limitless three-point range. Bueckers impressed with her smooth efficiency, deadly mid-range game, and court vision that could rival even Clark's.
You've known Paige since middle school, AAU. You guys were on the U19 World Cup team together. Is there anything that maybe stood out then about her, whether it be on or off the court, that maybe still reigns true today?
I mean, I feel like she's played in the same manner that she, has since she was, whether we were on the U16 team together, U19 team together, whether it was me watching her in AAU, she's always just been smooth. She takes what the game gives her. Her midi has always been as nice as it's been this year. She's just she just plays way older than she is. She's confident, she's smooth, she just does everything at a high level, can score from all three levels, and that's how she's always played.
Their college journeys couldn't have been more different. Bueckers chose the storied UConn program under Gino Orima, stepping into a dynasty with a legacy of championships. Clark opted for Iowa, a team eager to carve out its place on the national stage. This set the scene for unforgettable NCAA tournament clashes that would shape both players' legacies. Clark's Iowa squad shattered Bueckers' UConn dreams in March Madness, with Clark delivering towering performances, none bigger than her 41-point masterpiece that sent the Huskies packing. She outdueled Bueckers head-to-head, winning 2 of their 3 college showdowns. As analysts and fans took sides, their rivalry grew into something almost mythical, stretching far beyond the bounds of college basketball.
A lot of people are saying, everything is she was Caitlin before Caitlin, she's better than Caitlin, and all this stuff. That kind of stopped in the media. Caitlin Clark put up better numbers in the WNBA than Paige did in college.
Gino Orima had pointed critiques of Clark's game. He questioned her shot selection and openly doubted whether she was as ready for the WNBA as his own star, Bueckers. In his eyes, Bueckers' polished fundamentals would adapt more seamlessly to the pro level. Clark's explosive scoring and Bueckers' effortless efficiency came to symbolize 2 contrasting visions of basketball greatness.
Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a...
Both players declared for the WNBA, leaving fans eager to see when they'd finally clash as pros. Clark held a 2-1 edge from their college battles, but now faced fresh questions about her transition to the WNBA. The anticipation was enormous. ABC seized the chance to air the game nationally, knowing the showdown would capture viewers coast to coast. With Clark's recent struggles on the Fever, the matchup took on even greater weight for her reputation.
Our player development coach yesterday, and he was just sent me a few things of even Steph going through a slump. I think he was 27 for his last 70 or something like that. Like the best in the world go through it, and I think that's like where you can find your confidence. And I think the thing I always fall back on is like, I know how hard I've worked, so you know this isn't something that's going to last, and the best players in the world go through this. So I feel like I'm getting good shots, and I think that's why it's frustrating, because those are the shots.
But here's where it gets interesting. Clark's Fever were reeling heading into this marquee matchup. Indiana had just suffered embarrassing losses to teams they were expected to beat. The LA Sparks and Golden State Valkyries handed them defeats that left fans baffled. These weren't juggernauts. They were teams the Fever should have dispatched without trouble.
This stretch, you know, this is a big game for us. I think we've struggled in the fact that we're able to play one good game, and then we play a bad game, then we play a good game, then we play a bad game. So I think for us is like, we got to find a way to be able to stack really good games together, and then we go on the road, and you know, we're on a back-to-back, which is just a challenge in itself. No matter who you're playing, we play Connecticut, then we play New York. So I think Steph's message was, you know, yes, All-Stars coming up, that break's coming up, but our focus is on these 3 games that we have left. So in that sense, I do think it's critical that our focus just remains on the game in front of us, and I feel like that's what everybody in the locker room.
Behind the scenes, a philosophical battle was unfolding between Clark's up-tempo vision and Coach Stephanie White's more deliberate half-court approach. Clark wanted to push the pace, ignite fast breaks, and let her explosive style shine. White favored slowing things down and controlling the game through structured sets. This clash created real tension within the organization. It all came to a head during a game against the Atlanta Dream. When Clark and White got into a heated sideline exchange, cameras captured every charged word. The intensity on their faces made it clear just how deep the disagreement ran, marking a pivotal moment in their evolving dynamic.
There's definitely something going on within the locker room, the front office. Something is off, man. This is the 3rd situation in one game we have had involving Caitlin Clark and the coaching staff and pretty much another player. And it looked like Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White definitely had a situation where they was in a heated exchange right before half.
Lineup changes made things worse. Clark was coming back from injury. Danas had just returned from national team play, and the team couldn't find its rhythm. Rotations were shaky, roles uncertain, and the offense fell apart. Missed shots and turnovers piling up. The fast break style Clark thrived on was missing. Clark admitted, "We play one good game, then a bad game, then a good one, then a bad one." Her shooting slump drew concern, but she stayed confident. "I'm never going to stop shooting," comparing it to Steph Curry's cold streaks. Even after beating Atlanta to end their skid, tensions between Clark and Coach White lingered. The clash in philosophy wasn't resolved, just paused.
It can be frustrating when your shot isn't going in the way that you want it to, but then like I look at the box and it's like I'm really 4 shots away from having a really good game, a really good shooting game. So that's where you find your confidence, and I know those are shots that I can make, and I'm never going to stop shooting. So, I mean, until I break out of it, I'm just going to keep launching, and that's all I know, and I'm still confident in everything.
The Dallas game became the ultimate test. Would White finally let Clark play her up-tempo style? Or would the philosophical clash keep holding the team back? This tension set the stage perfectly for Clark's showdown with Bueckers, eager to prove her approach could thrive in the pros. Then something remarkable happened. Stephanie White handed Clark the keys. Against Dallas, she made the pivotal choice to let Clark dictate the tempo and run the offense her way. This wasn't a minor tweak. It was a complete shift, trusting Clark to lead at the pace she'd long been pushing for.
Lee Rue the other night had a season-high 18 points. Here's Boston turning the corner. Dishing to Hull. Extra feed Clark. A deep 3. You bet! And he actually brought up stat from a shooting slump Steph Curry went through. She said that made her feel a lot better. That pass will as well. Right on the money to Mitchell.
Cunningham attacked the closeout.
Clark, the rejection of Quinterly. Clark, the flick ahead. Oh, beautifully done. Touchdown. Here's Clark being hawked by Isaiah James. Clark sidestepping 3 is good. Clark backing down Quinterly. 6 to shoot, fading away and dropping it in. Beautiful. Here's Clark off the screen. through the lane, feeds Howard. Another assist for Clark. That's 13 as Howard is up to 18.